Hello, everybody. It's Tom here. So, I believe it's part 10 of the story of me. Now, I had about, I don't know, 6 or 7 videos recorded, and I had to switch phones. When I did, I lost all the videos, so sorry about not keeping up with it. I just had to have time to do it and remember what I did, where, and whatever. So, anyway, I thought part 10 we'd so anyway, I thought part 10 we delve into some oddities that happen. Going back to when I was about 6 years old. No, wait a minute. I was 5. My brother was in Vietnam, and he was up in the northern part of Vietnam where things were a little rough. And at that time, he was a tanker. He was a gunner on a Quad 50 APC, whatever they had then. So they were in camp one night, and the base got attacked. Before anybody knew it, the gooks were through the wire, and he was one of the first guys to come out of the hooch, jumped on his tank and started mowing them down. Well, he got hit 4 times. One, two, three, and clipped him in the shoulder 4. And he almost died. But the night of the attack, we were sitting in my house, my parents and everything, and his picture, they had his graduation picture from the military, flew off the wall clear across the parlor and smashed. My mother, now I didn't know why, but my mother freaked out. My dad freaked out. They tried for days to get a hold of him. They couldn't get a hold of him, and finally, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. We got a knock on the door, and there's 2 gentlemen standing there in uniform, and they had a telegram stating that he'd been wounded. No, he's not dead, but he had been wounded severely, and blah 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 blah. So that was the beginning of the oddities. So after that, I was about 6 or 7 years old. I lived on a very dangerous back road at the time. There was a main road that went through Mount Cobb, but it wasn't much bigger than the cow trail it started out at. So we were living close to the road. We're only about 50 feet off the road. So we're sitting there one night and we hear this smash out in front. We knew what happened. So we go out, and the guy, they head-on collision. They hit so hard that he took the engine in a '69 Chevy, '64 Chevy. It was a '64 Chevy Impala. He put the engine in the back seat of the car. Now, we were running over and Dad shining the light and whatever, and that was my first dead body, actually. So the guy's laying in the front seat mangled, and Dad's like, hey, don't look. And it's like, yeah, right. And so me and my cousin, he came down. They used to live up on top of the hill. And he came down. He's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And we were talking there. It's late at night, but car crashes are like a big deal, and everybody filed out to help direct traffic and stuff. Till maybe some days later, the cops finally showed up. So we were standing there in the driveway talking, and he said, "Me, look at that." And I said, "What?" And we looked up the driveway, and there was this strange guy walking up the driveway, no clothes on. I mean, well, yeah, he had clothes on, but no coat or anything. And for January, and he was walking up the driveway, and he just kept walking straight up into the air. He looked at me, and I looked at him. I said to him, "Did you?" "Yeah." "I'm going in the house." Said, "Me too." And we took off 2 different directions. So the next weird thing that happened after that is, see. My grandmother had died when we were 12 years old. Me and my cousin are 6 months apart, so we were 12. And we were sitting out in her front yard because I grew up in a family patch. There was my house, my grandmother's house, my uncle's house, and four more of my uncles, and another uncle that lived across the road on family property. So we're sitting in her front yard, and my cousin Dan said to me, "Look, did you see that?" No, what? He said, "Look again." Now, my grandmother's house, there was two entrances, the front door and the back door, but there was an attic. To get to the attic, you had to go up this set of iron steps on the outside of the house. You couldn't access the ins from the inside. It's like, wow. And there was a candle flickering. You couldn't see the flame, but you could see the light of the candle flickering. I was like, yeah. Like, what is that? I said, I don't know, looks like a candle. And he said, yeah, I know. My grandmother always burned candles. So that was an oddity, you know. And then after that, my dad and my brother, my second oldest brother, he broke his back in a car accident. And my dad had a bad back from World War II. He fell out of the bottom of a B-17. And my brother was on the floor laid up with his broken back, and my dad was laid up on the couch with his bad back. Now, my room there was the kitchen, the living room, my room was here. So I could see out into the living room, right? We lived in a doorless house. The only door in the place is the front door. The rest of it was all curtains, so, you know. So Dad's on the couch and Rick is on the floor and they're watching TV. So I woke up about 1:30 in the morning. I don't know what woke me up. And there was a green glow in the living room. Well, back then you had a green TV screen. So I just figured it was a TV screen. And I watched this orb. It came from somewhere on that side of the house. It came down and it ran up and down my brother. My dad was wide awake, and he was just laying there looking like, oh crap, you know. And it moved over to my dad and went up and down my dad a couple of times, and then disappeared. Well, after, you know, he cleaned his pants up and whatnot, he had to get up off the couch because he had to wake my brother up and say, hey, you know, blah, blah. So he started to get up off the couch, and lo and behold, his back was like brand new. So he woke my brother up, and Ricky said to him, I'm not sleeping. Did you see what I just... Yeah. He said, Dad, my back don't hurt anymore. And he got up off the floor like it was nothing. So then I came out, and I was kind of scared. I didn't know what was going on. I came out, and they said to me, did you see what... I said, yes, I did. So then we got my mother up, and, you know, they made coffee, and we were sat around talking about it, but it was the weirdest thing. It was like a neon green orb. They just ran up and down them, and they were fine. It was odd. There was a lot of other oddities, like, we had this animal at our house for years. It'd only come out every now and then, and the noise was incredible. Nobody in my family of woodsmen has ever heard a noise like this. So, after that, the next oddity that happened was I was really into black magic. I was really into the dark arts. And I had all the, you know, I wore upside down crosses. I prayed to Satan. I had a big wooden cross I built that hung upside down over my bed. And I went to bed one Saturday afternoon. I got home from drinking the night before. And I don't remember getting there, but I remember waking up on the ceiling looking down at myself. I was screaming, crying, kicking, punching, biting, you name it. Tom, wake up! Tom, wake up! Yeah, what the? I was dead. There was no two ways about it. I wasn't moving off that bed. And I heard a voice say to me, "You have two choices. You either go up or you go down. The rate you're going, you're looking down at where you're headed." So I was looking down at me. Well, they didn't say the rate you're going. I just said it on the course you're setting for yourself. And I decided that I didn't want to go down. And slowly but surely, I entered my body. Got up out of the bed in about 20 minutes because I couldn't move. I was sick to the stomach and everything hurt. So finally, I got to where I was mobile. I got up out of the bed. I took all my crosses, all my magic stuff. I took the cross down over on my bed. Took it all out, threw it in a big pile, and burnt it. Now, that didn't make me a believer in Christ then. What that made me was one scared digger that I was not headed in that direction. Fast forward 2 years. We're having a party back in what we used to call the stone tables. Behind my pond, we built this like picnic area with a stone table and chairs and stuff. And me and a bunch of my buddies were back there, and we were discussing the option of religion and everything. And I said to them, "Hey, watch this. You want to see some religion?" I was drunk and I started chanting some stuff. Now, I didn't see it, but my two buddies took off. Not to be heard from for at least a week. Finally, they stopped by the house and they're like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, why?" "Did you know what?" "No, I have no clue what happened." They said they seen a demon come up out of the ground in the middle of that fire and was reaching out for me. That's what they told me. I didn't see it. So around that same time era, I we went to my sister's for Christmas. Matter of fact, it was the year that Dad came over at Thanksgiving and got me with the blizzard. We went to my sister's for Christmas. Now, my sister's house was always a little gnarly about paranormal stuff. So I'm sleeping upstairs in the bedroom. That was my brother-in-law's brother's bedroom. He was killed in Vegas. And I felt something on my chest. I immediately took a swing at it, but I couldn't move. I remember waking up and looking up at the ceiling, and it was just this big green swirl of like pinkish green weird something on the ceiling, and it was pushing down on my chest. It had me down in the bed inches, shoving me back down into it. And I remember saying to it, "John, what are you doing? I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything wrong. John." That was his name. And it let me up and just swirled back up into the ceiling. Well, I stayed there that night. The next morning we were going home. It was Christmas after we ate dinner and everything. I told my parents about it. They had the same encounter. Theirs walked up to him, knocked him out of the ceiling. So some people believe in paranormal, some don't. I 100% believe in paranormal and some other things that, it's questionable. I've seen many a ghosts. No. I believe in the paranormal, trust me. So that was an oddity. So then after that, there's an old graveyard in town. It was called Potter Cemetery. Some of the graveyards in there, some of the headstones are from back in the 1700s.